while searching for my late wife's cherished pendant, the sole remnant I clung to after her passing, my daughter announced without a flicker of remorse. I pawned the pendant. I required the funds for a getaway. Stunned by her callous betrayal, I contacted the pawn shop to reclaim it. The owner replied, "Sir, you won't believe the discovery we made upon unlocking the heart-shaped charm." This revelation unveiled the hidden truths of my household. Before proceeding, kindly subscribe to the channel and comment with the current time in your location. I lingered in my bedroom, gazing at the vacant silk-lined case, my fingers quivering against the drawer's edge. The case lay there like a silent rebuke, its pale ivory interior cradling only the memory of what ought to have been present. Margaret's pendant, the silver chain with the oval locket she'd fastened around her neck daily for 4 decades, vanished. From below, Victoria's voice sliced through the morning calm, crisp directives about the meal. Nathan's hearty chuckles echoed from the den. A news broadcaster's enthusiastic commentary underscored it all. Sophia's phone call floated upward, grumbles about feeling trapped here, about Tucson being dull, about yearning to return to Oregon pronto. Today marked Margaret's birthday, 3 years since her departure, and I'd intended to pass the morning in solitude with that pendant, the lone fragment of her that still seemed to retain her vitality. Instead, I confronted this barren case and the turmoil of my relatives treating my residence like a transient lodge. I extracted the drawer entirely, spilling hosiery across the quilt, empty. I knelt, peered beneath the bureau. Merely dust bunnies and a faded parking ticket. My pulse quickened. I advanced to the wardrobe, rifling through garment pockets, inspecting hat containers on the upper rack. My breaths grew shallow. The lavatory next. I jerked open the vanity mirror, yanked out the basins below the faucet. Cotton swabs tumbled across the ceramic tiles. Where had it gone? Where? I scarred improbable spots. The bedside table I'd already inspected thrice. Behind the headboard beneath the mattress. My fingers trembled more violently now. That persistent quiver of dread I hadn't experienced since the clinic, since those final moments with Margaret, when no action of mine could halt the inevitable. 42 years of matrimony, and that pendant was all I'd retained. Her attire donated to charity, her journals gifted to the archive, her patio furnishings gathering rust in the garage, because I couldn't endure handling them. But the pendant, I preserved in its case, secure, pristine, save for occasions like this, when I needed to recall her visage. I descended the stairs, each footfall measured. In the den, Nathan lounged across my sofa, soles propped on the arm, a container of pretzels poised on his torso. He didn't glance upward. I navigated around Sophia's retail parcels amassed near the staircase, sidestepped the end table she'd displaced. Victoria stood at the galley counter, device in one palm, slicer in the other, dicing produce with forceful accuracy. Slice, slice, slice. "Victoria," I uttered. "Have you noticed?" "I'm occupied, Father." She kept her focus downward. "It's urgent. Margaret's pendant is. Search your chamber. You likely misplaced it." The slicer persisted against the board. Slice. Slice. "I have searched my chamber?" I replied, striving to maintain composure. "I've searched everywhere. The pendant is missing." She exhaled sharply. That signature sigh she'd honed over the past 2 years since their arrival. The one implying I was a nuisance, a load she'd magnanimously accepted. "Nobody desires your antiquated belongings, Father. It belonged to your mother." My larynx constricted. "The sole item I preserved." "Then you ought to have safeguarded it better." I observed her dissecting carrots into fierce fragments, and an icy sensation gripped my core. Not fiery rage, frigid like the chill preceding a tempest. "Victoria, please," I murmured softly. "I must know its fate." She halted at last, lowered the slicer, pivoted toward me, and her gaze lacked any tenderness. It hadn't for years, truly. Yet I'd deceived myself, hadn't I? Convincing myself this remained my daughter, Margaret's daughter, the child who once presented us wildflowers from the lawn. Very well, she stated. I pawned it. Sunset Treasures pawn on Speedway. We required 900 for Maui. You declined when I inquired, so I secured an alternative. Her tone bore no contrition, no acknowledgement of wrongdoing. She resumed slicing. From the den, Nathan's voice wafted lazily content. It was merely gathering dust, Harold. Margaret's departed. The deceased don't require adornments. He didn't rise to speak, eyes fixed on the screen, massaging his abdomen, grasping another fistful of pretzels. The nonchalant quality somehow worsened it beyond anger or confrontation. This was simply evident to him. Naturally, they'd pawned it. Why ever not? On the landing, Sophia giggled. That vivid, hollow timbre of one who deems true anguish amusing. Grandpa, you're overreacting. It's merely a pendant. Mom secured us a fantastic escape. I regarded her. Truly regarded. 23 years old, Margaret's granddaughter, and she possessed the same vacant gaze as her mother. When had this occurred? Or had I simply declined to perceive it? Your grandmother donned that daily for 40 years, I said softly. Sophia shrugged, already pivoting, device to her ear. Well, now another gets to, life cycle or something. I stood in my galley in the dwelling Margaret and I acquired in 1984, the dwelling we'd infused with 2 years of recollections, and surveyed these 3 individuals. My daughter, her spouse, her offspring. They returned stares with the unified demeanor of those awaiting an obstacle to depart. I pivoted and ascended to my chamber, shut the portal with a gentle snap, perched on the bed's rim. The vacant silk case rested on the bureau where I'd abandoned it. I lifted it, opened, closed, opened anew, closed. The repetitive action soothed something within, or perhaps it wasn't soothe. Perhaps it was another sensation entirely. My fingers had ceased quivering. I lingered there lengthy. The case on my lap, and sensed a transformation in my core, not fracturing. I'd fractured 3 years prior when Margaret perished. This differed. This was consolidation, solidification, lucidity I hadn't held an hour earlier. They'd pawned Margaret's pendant for a getaway. Victoria had entered my chamber, my personal drawer, seized the one treasure I valued, and bartered it for leisure funds, and Nathan and Sophia perceived nothing amiss. Nothing whatsoever. I rose, repositioned the case meticulously on the bureau, and grasped my device from the bedside. My fingers remained stable as I launched the search and entered pawn shops Tucson. My digit lingered over the display, perusing the roster of pawn establishments dispersed across Tucson. The vacant silk case sat adjacent on the quilt, a modest rectangular sentinel to my impending action. My palm no longer shook. That astonished me more than any morning event. I commenced dialing. The initial shop, Lucky Fine Pawn, lacked it. The attendant sounded wary. The second, Quick Cash, held me 6 minutes before negating. The third had shuttered indefinitely. The fourth rang unanswered. I sat on my quilt for each, recounting the pendant identically each instance. Silver chain, oval locket, engraving within reads, Eternal H&M, 18 karat, pawned yesterday, likely. Each time I expressed gratitude courteously and advanced to the subsequent. Victoria's voice sporadically ascended from below, issuing commands. Nathan's broadcasters supplied constant undertone. I disregarded all. The 7th call differed. Sunset Treasures pawn, this is Gerald. I seek a silver pendant with an oval locket, I said. Pawned yesterday. A pause. Ah yes, recall that item. Exquisite workmanship. You the spouse. My core tightened. I am. My wife passed 3 years ago. Deeply regretful. Sir, there's something regarding that locket. I straightened. What do you mean? Upon appraisal, the locket unlocked contained a diminutive missive. The space tilted faintly. A missive. I extracted it cautiously. Avoided harm. Bears numerals. Financial institution something. 40 years of union, and I'd never known the locket unlocked. Margaret had worn it against her skin daily, and I'd never sought a hinge, never attempted opening. Did you inform the woman who pawned it? She'd departed. Truthfully, I doubt she knew the locket unlocked. She appeared rushed. Naturally, she was. Victoria hastening to transmute my wife's adornment into getaway currency. She likely hadn't examined closely, merely perceived silver and value. I must repurchase it, I said. Cost. I offered her 900. True value nearer 1,400. 18-karat silver, exceptional artistry. I'll remit 1,400. Today possible. Arrive prior to 5. I'll retain it. And sir, he hesitated, I won't redistribute. It's yours. I expressed gratitude, obtained the location, and lingered momentarily, eyeing the device. Margaret had concealed something in that locket, a missive with financial data. What else had she withheld? I rose, pocketed billfold and keys, descended. The household didn't glance as I traversed the den. Nathan's soul still dominated the sofa. Sophia hunched over her device on the ottoman. Victoria somewhere rearward. I exited the entrance into the October radiance. The journey to downtown consumed 40 minutes. I inputted the location into my device's navigation and obeyed the serene voice through known avenues rendered alien by intent. Boutiques and repair garages and sporadic cacti. Tucson extending planar and ochre in all directions. Sunset Treasures Pawn occupied a storefront between a bakery and a courier service. Grillas on windows but polished grillies. A tidy placard. I stationed ahead and lingered, palms on the wheel, bracing. Within, the establishment scented of aged fabric and alloy cleaner, veterans-aligned walls, brimming with adornments and timepieces and lenses. A compact man in his late 50s stood aft the counter, silver hair groomed, magnification lenses on his bridge. Mr. Bennett, he inquired. That's me, Gerald Lee. He proffered his palm, I clasped. Retrieve your pendant. He vanished rearward, re-emerged bearing a petite bundle in soft textile. He unfurled it deliberately on the counter. And there it lay, Margaret's pendant, the silver gleaming the fluorescent illumination, appearing precisely as recalled against her throat each dawn for 4 decades. The young lady who pawned it, Gerald said quietly, mid-40s, seemed hurried, declined haggling. I offered 900 as equitable for mass, but recognized instantly greater worth. He paused. Your daughter. I offered no reply. Merely extracted billfold and tallied 1,400 notes. Gerald had prepped forms. He slid a petite packet across. The missive, he said, secured herein. Thank you? I uttered. Preserve it this occasion, he said mildly. I motored 3 blocks, are compelled to halt. My palms quivered anew, sentiment surging now, the mission concluded and solitude enveloped. I stationed in a plaza lot. Vehicle facing afternoon sun streaming windshield. The pendant felt weightier than memory. I elevated it to illumination, rotating gradually, seeking the hinge Gerald noted. There, minuscule, I'd never observed prior. A faint notch on the oval's flank. I compressed with thumbnail. The locket sprung. Within, coiled impossibly taut, a paper sliver no larger than my smallest digit. I pried with nails, uncurled cautiously against thigh. Margaret's script, minute yet unmistakable. First Tucson Bank, Vault 5291. I sat in my vehicle eyeing those terms till sun shifted and windshield blaze excessive. Margaret possessed a deposit vault at First Tucson Bank, Vault 5291, and never disclosed. I motored residence in trance, stationed driveway, traversed household, still anchored positions like fixtures to chamber. I stood window observing sun descend horizon, pendant clutched one palm, missive other. What had Margaret concealed and why? That night, slumber evaded. I reclined, revolving queries repeatedly, pendant on torso where Margaret once wore, sensing slight silver mass, pondering other secrets retained. Dawn arrived languidly. I bathed, attired in fine slacks and colored shirt, motored downtown to First Tosa and Banks Primary on Congress. The edifice ascended 12 levels, crystal and alloy daunting. I passed revolving portal into marble foyer, resonating subdued dialogues and heel clicks. A youthful woman at reception beamed professionally. Nameplate Lisa. I require deposit vault access, I said. Certainly. Vault numeral and identification. I presented Margaret's demise certificate. Instinct prompted inclusion. And driver's permit. Lisa scrutinized, both meticulously. Need surviving spouse ID and wife's demise certificate. You're registered. Yes. Wed 42 years. She inputted data nodding, vault accessed last 2018. 7 years prior, no activities since 2018. Margaret diagnosed early 2021. She established this 4 years pre-illness, pre-awareness of fate. My wife passed 2021, I said. She must predate. Lisa's facade softened marginally. Utilize privacy chamber duration needed, Mr. Bennett. I'll guide. She conducted through hefty portal to vault chamber, alloy drawers walls, each dual keyholes. Lisa employed her key and numeral to extract elongated alloy receptacle. She handed, heavier anticipated, guided to diminutive windowless chamber table chair. Exterior when concluded. She said softly, sealed portal. I sat solitary. Alloy receptacle table 4, couldn't compel opening. Palms flanked, sensing chill alloy, pondered Margaret 7 years prior this chamber, placing within, securing sans disclosure. Finally, I elevated lid. Bundles currency 50 notes envelopes banded elastic. I tallied swiftly a 25,000 minimum, perhaps more, beneath sealed packet. My name Margaret's meticulous script. Harold I lifted letter, pressed torso eyes shut. She'd foreseen, somehow foreseen a miss. Foreseen I'd require. Foreseen Victoria would. My palms located packet seal. I ruptured cautiously, unfurled interior pages. Fingers ruptured seal meticulously, paper rustling privacy chamber hush. I unfurled 3 pages Margaret's script. Neat measured I'd viewed grocery rosters birthday missives 40, 2 years. Breath's shallow commencing raid. My dearest Harold, if perusing this, I've departed and you located concealed. Initial line struck physical. Her timbre resonated vividly I nearly audible. Slight husk developed 50s, pauses betwixt thoughts. I amassed this over 35 years, modest sums each salary unnoticed. Anger not secrecy. Acted love no approaching. I read swifter palm quivering table rim. Victoria always challenging. Recall age 26 demanded we fund nuptials, excluded your sibling unable costly gift. Perceived true essence then, treats individuals' transactions nothing suffices. I recalled. Margaret distressed weeks, I dismissed typical nuptial strain, parent, offspring friction. Excused Victoria, post-departure, perceive you mere asset exhaust. Nathan insight, always exploiter. No though unsaid, Sophia emulates guardians. Regret scripting, require here, my mandible clenched. Margaret attempted subtle alerts years, minor remarks I dismissed excess critique. Mother severe daughter, yet perceived lucidly I declined acknowledge. These funds yours dear 32,000 safeguard finally perceive I perceived. Prevent victimize. Stronger realize, strong exist self. Dwelling funds all. Labored, prevent seize guilt duty. I halted, pressed letter torso, 32,000 plus receptacle, tallied swiftly estimated excess 25,000 more. Margaret amassed nearly 60,000 unbeknownst. How unnoticed. Years her hospital evening shifts additional hours, I deemed nursing devotion. Final segment. Wish present safeguard trust no act time. Always thoughtful, systematic, cautious. Employ strengths now. Avoid coercion. No love exceed worldly. Eternal yours, Margaret. I sat chamber reread passages. Nuptial incident Nathan alert, strong directive. Each term validation desperately needed unbeknownst. Margaret perceived all, comprehended all, prepared moment. I folded letter precisely, jacket pocket heart. Currency remained receptacle, excess safe transport, uncertain action. Rose, chair aligned, portal opened. Lisa glanced desk. Concluded. Yes. Gratitude assistance. Welcome. Access a new prior call. I traversed marble foyer, footsteps resonant. Exterior. Afternoon radiance struck barrier, severe unforgiving. Sat vehicle 10 minutes, staring windshield, parking structure concrete opposite. Unseen truly. Margaret ever vigilant even now beyond. Touched pendant shirt, sensed warm alloy skin. Journey residence autopilot. Signals, indicators, merges. Red light Broadway, palm pressed pocket letter. Horn rear, light verdant. Advanced mind assimilating red. Residence appeared altered driveway arrival. Sat observing front painter exit. Victoria sofa, soles tucked device ear, chuckling. Nathan sprawled my longer. Margaret's 30, fifth gift. Tan fabric molded my form. Sophia galley table. Polish vials dispersed. Absorbent spheres everywhere. Applying vivid crimson. My dwelling domain. Occupied conquered. Entered. None glanced. Victoria noted pendant initial. Chain visible collar tucked shirt. Gaze affixed. Demeanor hardened. Mother's pendant. Reclaimed. Touched protectively. Yes. Rose device lowered. Surrender. Pawned. Ours now. Cannot reclaim. Repurchased. Remitted 1,400. Countenance flushed. Hose funds? Fixed income. Our legacy squandering. Our legacy. As if interred. As if possessions theirs. Nathan elevated longer. Approached. Victoria correct. Expend funds family due. Wife deceased. Uttered casually weather. Progress herald. Reality confront. Reality. Yes aged. Dwelling oversized. Transfer now. Spare later hassle. Regarded him. Truly, perceived scheming gaze, veiled avidity. No pretense. None. From table, Sophia interjected sends upward glance polish. Grandpa selfish. Parents require stability. Rent-free. Family cares mutually. This care. I queried softly. None responded. Victoria arms crossed. Nathan mandible labored further utterance. Sophia exhaled damp polish. Ascended chamber, portal sealed, gentle latch felt conclusive. Sat quilt, extracted Margaret's letter, unfurled, reread final. Strong, exist self. Position letter bedside drawer. Desk retrieved yellow pad pen. Sat desk Margaret acquired flea market decades prior, scarred sturdy. Top initial page, April 22nd, measures enacted. Beneath, commenced roster. Initial 1, record all. Dawn April 23rd prior. Pad bedside replete nocturnal notes. Hours post-confrontation pondering, scheming scripting, engineering discipline resurfacing. Identify issue, collect data, devise resolutions, implement orderly. Attired silently dark, dwelling hushed, household slumbering late screen griping. Traversed corridor specter, footfalls intentional muted, den, photographed Nathan's possessions dispersed. Labor boots portal, unemployed. Coat sofa arm, controls, crumb pouches, beverage tin side, coffee table displaced 4 feet his sprawl accommodate. Lavatory next. Sophia's cosmetics engulfed counter, base bottles glosses, shade palettes, applicators cups. Photographed all. Guest chamber Margaret sewing now Victoria's wardrobe. Portal opened, garment racks, footwear aligned, photographed, galley opened cooler, each item I acquired, wallet receipt, 298 4 days prior, photographed provisions, receipt adjacent, power invoice counter 312, my name Apex unreimbursed, photographed, chamber return 1645, images laptop transferred, directories dated categorized, evidence irrefutable, recorded. Subsequent fortnight methodical. Filing cabinet perused. Documents organized decades. Dwelling title acquired 1984, cleared 2017. Sole name tax logs current I paid. Utility invoices triennial. All zero household contribution May 1st. Household absent. Victoria part. Time clinic. Nathan purported seeking employment. Sophia companions installed lens. Researched Arizona statute meticulously. Unilateral consent recording, my dwelling, my prerogative secure, online lens system smoke alarm guys. Ordered express. Installation hour. Laptop tutorial twice viewed. Prior alarm den corner removed cautiously. Novel unit identical. Wide lens barely visible white lattice. Mounted phone tested. Flawless den galley entry primary floor vista. Guilt absent. My domain possession. Forfeited privacy plotting sees all. Recordings valuable swiftly. May 5th hours footage. Evening chamber desk portal locked laptop open viewing. Victoria timber lucid. Unbelievable wonders 400 pendant. Nathan sofa. Selfish. Elderly thus. Dwelling hours initial remodel. Trapped 1984. Delay unnecessary. 68. Years remaining. Truly. Save excerpt labeled meticulously. Evidence 505. Legacy dialogue MP4. Another May 8th. Sophia device companion stairs. Grandpa nuisance. Odd mother pawning antique pendant. Companion faint. Why pawn? Maui funds. Denied mother managed. Glad dwelling hours. Bypass drama. Countenance impassive viewing. Saved growing directory added. Fiscal audit lengthier. Triennial statements desk spread, ledger crafted. Each Nathan advanced documented date sums 600 auto men June 2021 500 urgent oral September 21 to 300 venture December 2021. Ongoing monthly. Formula ascended. Concluded base 20 su 100 advances. Repayment nil zeros. Printed ledger, evidence directory added. Victoria charge statements mail mingled. My location sans query. Maui itemized 100 flights lodge outings plus 900 pendant. Early May. Directory thickened documentation. Images, videos, fiscal logs, title papers, tabbed labeled. Evening desk directory open. New moment. Device grasp. Elder law attorneys Tosen searched. Rebecca Lawson practice. Second results. Safeguarding elder entitlements. Seasoned elder law counsel. Dialed mourn. Reception May 10th 1:30 scheduled. Edifice downtown 14 levels. Crystal alloy desert sky mirror. Garage stationed elevator 4th. Rebecca Lawson glass portal. Reception leather seats law periodicals. Reception conducted Rebecca's office. Rose greet. 50-ish auburn streak. Tresses pinned attire. Magnification chain. Firm clasp. Chair gestured organized desk. Mr. Bennett. Narrate. Evidence directory desk placed. Daughter household triennial. Nil rent expense contribution. Exploit fiscally. Await demise sees all. Rebecca demeanor unaltered. Directory opened. Documents perused. Pad notes. Queries incisive. Household expenses pay. Nil. Requested depart. Informally. Wise. Proper execution. Directory continued, laptop videos viewed, ledger examined, title perused, 20 silent save queries. Finally upward. Mr. Bennett. Documentation superb. Thorough. Daughter household duration. Triennial post-wife demise. Nil rent utilities household. Not sent. Victoria claims family exempts family. Rebecca nodded scripting. Invited permanent or transient. Transient locate. Triennial prior. Pen lowered. Palms folded. Arizona statute will tenants. Rental terms establish anytime. Refuse pay. Eviction basis. Book execution. Documented legal. Duration. Contest, perhaps 4 months. Evidence conduct, exploitation thorough. Doubt lengthy. Majority depart seriousness realization. Pendant shirt touched. Margaret approved methodical. Retainer 4,000. Rebecca stated initial filings. Rental draft, eviction initial if required. Acceptable. Studied moment. Certain proceed. Family. Wife alerted occur. Listened tardily. Rebecca retainer drawer extracted. Pen placed. Commence. Signed steady signature firm base. Document returned. Directory placed. Motions exact professional. Rental draft next week. Formal serve response observe. Rose clasp anew. Gratitude. Thank yet. Inception. Hallway exited. Portal sealed gentle click terminus inception. Week post retainer. Chamber desk rental emailed reviewed. 4 pages formatted. Legal dense. Clause thrice perused. Rent 100 monthly first due. 50% utilities. Conduct respectful owner peaceful premises enjoyment. 30 notice non-compliance. Market comparable Tosen 2 500. Rebecca strategy explained. Terms equitable judge punitive deem. Goj Victoria absent. Rights owner establish. Tenant status. Pendant shirt touched. Margaret sanction systematic. Reply clicked. Flawless. Advance. Sent unhesitating. Rebecca formal service arranged. May 17, 300. Woman portal leather case. Attire professional. Elaine Ford notary. Victoria rear. Ooh. Aside stepped. Elaine entered. Table moved. Case opened. Rental extracted seal. Victoria hovered. Suspicion emanated. Ems Ellis. Serve rental property. Victoria document snatched. Gaze rapid initial. Demeanor darkened line. 1-800 monthly utilities. Lunacy. Terms residency outline. Elaine calm. Agreement unnecessary. Receipt only. 30 response. Sign nil. Elaine form noted. Service complete regardless. Victoria world me. Jokey. Rental legal mandate. Family. Dwelling ours. Dwelling mine. Title sole. Tenants. Tenants dare. Nathan Den emerged. Rental Victoria quivering palms seized. Swift perused. Reddening. Unclear thinking herald. Physician mental assess. Mental sound. Judge determine. Competency. Guardianship. Attempt welcome. Closer stepped. Stature leveraged. Ignorant initiation. Elder. Elaine materials gathered efficiently. Hostile accustomed. Departed sans ceremony. Portal sealed definitive click. Terms equitable. I silence stated. Neighborhood rent submarket. Pay nil. Victoria timber fractured. Depart require. Nathan mandible. Depart nil. 30. Chamber ascended. Portal sealed. Quilt perched moment. Breath steady. Walls Victoria fury ascended. Nathan bass responded. Sophia treble joined. Moves additional. Bank downtown 30 minutes. Garage stationed. Elevator. Manager requested. Marcus 30's demeanor led office. Assist Mr. Bennett. Victoria prior signature card slid. Remove accounts access. Marcus computed frowned. Recent nil. Attempt last week. May 10th. Denied ID improper. Claimed behalf. Mandible tightened. May 10th. Rebecca met day. Victoria attempted drain representation securing. Remove entirely. Passwords novel. Queries security. Fraud flag. Marcus noted. Access attempt documentation? Yes. Security log print. Did. Evidence directory added. Mourn subsequent. Andrew Lawson met. Estate expert Rebecca suggested. Office second quiet edifice near Foothills. Andrew existing will reviewed. All Victoria. Drafted 6 prior aside. Documents fresh. Changes certain. Odorly. Initialed pages 4 legatees. Tucson Shelter Alliance. Cognitive Study Institute. Arizona Senior Advocacy Network. Entities Worldly Good. Victoria nil. Andrew signature witnessed. Notary applied. Packet sealed. Copy handed. Immediate effective Mr. Bennett. Gratitude. Residence returned. Den avoided. Household congregated. Victoria device overheard. No mother's counsel aid. Eleanor Kin attorney doubted Victoria side comprehension. Subsequent days documented all. Nathan hallway accidental block. Victoria mail perusal. Several open refolded. Concealed galley drawer towels beneath, including Rebecca strategy detailed. Federal offense tampering mail. Envelopes violated photographed. Concealment. All May 21st eve. Chamber dinner attempt. Nathan Wall leaned portal direct. Pardon. Unmoved. Rental absurdity discuss. Shift, please. Weight shifted insufficient. Refuse. Authorities summon. Chuckled. Cause. Hallway stance. Eventually shifted. Sideways passage compelled. Hallway lens captured positioning deliberate. Intimidation calculated. Same night escalated. Galley tea brewing entered. Proximity excessive. Sidestep attempt. Palm torso shoved. Insufficient topple. Stumble counter compelled edge grasp. Caution elder. Mishaps age nil response. Tea chamber portal locked. Desk compiled methodical. Video Nathan portal block shove assault lucid. Tampered mail photos fraud bank notices. Directory emergency eviction evidence subfolders organized. Rebecca email detailed violations. Attachments complete. Response minutes. Immediate dial. Ringing initial answered. Herald shove assault. tampering federal, fraud elder exploitation. Impleas, 30 await nil, emergency eviction filing domestic violence fiscal abuse. Rapidity, hearing fortnight. Evidence bring, regret escalation. May 22nd, bank inbox notification. Victoria second access attempt, power attorney claimed. Denied fraud flagged, verification contact. Immediate dialed, fraud confirmed, documentation full requested. Hour sent. Rebecca forwarded, subject escalation. Body singular ammunition additional. Sent clicked, confirmation viewed. Laptop sealed slowly. Portal Victoria Nathan voices argument ascended. Next maneuver planning doubtless. Still believed cards held. Trap closed unbeknownst. Mourn subsequent, galley Victoria table stranger. Mail inexpensive attire, case open, papers dispersed. Victoria gaze crimson rimmed, tissues fist crumpled. Upward, father, counsel Mr. Donovan. Converse. Robert Donovan rose, palm extended, clasped, standing remained. Mr. Bennett, rental reviewed client. Negotiation latitude, chair gestured, unseated. Victoria pleading table. Donovan her glanced me, frankly. Permission awaited nil. Rights within. Title sole. Terms equitable, submarket. Counsel client comply or relocate. Victoria crumbled. Incorrect. Inform error father. Correct. Donovan case sealed snap. Ems Ellis, father property outright. Deed nil, mortgage history nil. Adverse possession triennial nil. Kinship property rights nil. Legally will tenant, terms formalizing. Daughter. Rights. Property nil. Donovan rose. Mr. Bennett, excuse. Departed swift. Victoria hysteria distance desired. Portal sealed. Victoria me turned. Unbelievable this. Mother devastated. Mother letter left. Alerted you. Victoria froze. Letter? False. Knew precisely. Correct all. Tears ceased switch timber hardened. Regret. Guest chamber stormed portal slammed. Device immediate, timber complaint undulated. Subsequent days campaign systematic. Midday chamber portal knock vulnerability transformed. Tissues clutched gaze manufactured moist. Father please. Sleepless. Torso aches. Strain lethal. Palm reached. Side retained. Surrendered much post-mother demise accompany. This me. Performance detachment regarded. Margaret letter manipulation inoculated. 20. 8 remaining. Portal sealed. Sob feigned wood through. Nathan tactic direct physical. Mourn chamber exit attempt. Hallway wall leaned portal 4. Block incomplete. Proximity squeeze compelled. Pardon. Unmoved. Rental nonsense discuss. Shift. Please. Wait insufficient passage. Refuse? Authorities. Smile warmth nil. Bathroom await. Offense. Eventually shifted, prior sideways compelled. Hallway lens captured positioning intimidation. Afternoon, mail galley drawer anew. Trike daily including Rebecca letter, opened. Palms quivered photographing evidence. Federal tampering, Rebecca photos immediate sent. Sophia societal pressure. Rental served post, postings regular, victimhood narrative followers. Neighbor Mr. Ruiz mailbox approached. Herald, online posts viewed. Granddaughter states, fine all Tom. Rental terms property establishing. Merely. Discomfort evident distance. Correct. Need anything. Swift departed solitary mail. Street opposite Mrs. Gomez viewed. Interior entered sans wave customary. Sophia campaign functioned. Vicinity me turned lies social. May 21st Michael final boundary crossed. Galley T. Entered proximity. Side a step, palm torso shoved. Counter stumble, compelled edge grasp. Mishaps age. Nil, T departed. Rear Victoria, Nathan domicile nil. Lens captured, contact lucid, torso forced, smirk satisfied. Chamber, laptop sat, evidence compiled methodical, dated severity clips, mail photos, fraud screenshots, Sophia posts archived, timeline comprehensive cross, referenced incidents evidence. Rebecca emailed package. Response swift. Timing ideal. Emergency hearing June 5th fortnight. Impact unknowing. Same afternoon bank notification anew. Victoria access third attorney power claimed. Denied. Flagged verification. Immediate confirmed documentation. Hour forwarded Rebecca. Ammunition more reply. Elder exploitation textbook. Assault tampering combined. Case overwhelming. Packing mental commence. Concluded. Chamber window stood. Sun western ridges descend. Took sun below amber. City Margaret I life constructed. Jennifer reared. Dwelling acquired. Labored saved future peaceful planned. Den household argument audible. Victoria panic sharp. Nathan defensive. Sophia relocate wine victory believed. Tears threats post capitulation force believed. Trap closed. Pendant shirt touched. Warm silver skin. Smile minutist permitted. Fortnight hearing. 14 justice. Await capable. Fortnight subsequent. Courtroom Judge Laura Ortiz documents bench perused. Emergency arrived. Rebecca adjacent accordion directories table. Aisle opposite. Victoria Carlson Nathan huddled gaze avoided. Judge Ortiz upward ebony tresses framed gaze piercing family disputes countless. Evidence ends. Lawson submitted reviewed. Videos disturbing particularly. Carlson rose. Honor. Family dispute. Emotions elevated. Mr. Carlson. Assault kinship regardless. Tampering federal. Judge Timber excuse severed. Temporary restraint issue. Mr. Ellis 10 feet minimum. Mr. Bennett shared residence. Violation arrest immediate. Nathan nodded reluctant mandible tight. Full eviction July 15th scheduled. Mr. Bennett writes rental established property vacate request. Rebecca leaned standing. 2 months. Prevailing. Household afternoon returned. Restraint fundamental altered nil. Nathan distance physical hostilities smoke dense. Refused waters 800. Patricia communications ignored. Squatting. Capitulation wagered. Late May decision surprised Rebecca. Dwelling cell desire. Phone silence. Harold radical strategic brilliant. Asset contested remove. Precisely. Robert Hayes recommended. Realtor difficult professional. Arrived May 28th 1000 leather case camera digital. Mr. Bennett, assess. Conducted. Room photographed. Den clutter aside. Galley dated functional. Chambers occupancy evident. Laser measured. Tablet notes. Victoria hallway arms cross suspicious comprehension nascent. Patio fence measured. Victoria exterior stormed. Identity. Action. Robert professional. Licensed realtor assessment property. Patio me turned, pallor drained. Father, occur. Selling dwelling. No impossible. Advanced, halted, restraint Nathan recalled. Her applicable calculated. Dwelling ours. Reared here. Dwelling mine. Title decision. Robert measurements concluded. Gratitude quiet. Victoria yard stricken departed. Next. Condition sound. Cosmetic aid marketable. List 410,000. Offers 410 fortnight expect. Rapidity. List tomorrow. Market Tosin. Offers weekend. Execute. Week. Robert truck assistant returned. Yard sign massive installed. Crimson ivory. Miss impossible. Sale bold Robert image number. Victoria window den rage disbelief twisted. Hours listing online active. Device buzzed. Property MLS active. Patricia video showed. Smiled. Flawless. Initial showing tree, daily. Couple youthful, Emily David Ruiz, 30s early, awkward traversed. Chamber retreated, audible movement. Household remained, intruders glared. Nathan's sofa sprawled deliberate discomfort. Woman voice hall drifted, occupants current included. Robert diplomatic, property closing vacant. Hostility despite, interested. Robert evening dialed. Offer crafting. 2000 sub, ask pre-approved rapid close desire. Accept. Certain, counter full nil. Rapidity exceeds 2000,000. Accept. Meanwhile Victoria defense desperate. Window observed sidewalk Mrs. Gomez approached. Voices Gomez, aid require. Father evict attempts. Testify cared. Discomfort visible distance. Dear. Uncertain. Viewed me. No care. Victoria honest, viewed household. Care witnessed nil. Misunderstand. Comprehend fine. Mrs. Gomez swift departed. Victoria neighbors 2 additional similar. Testimony witnessed nil. Late May Robert Cafe finalized acceptance. Offer purchase table spread. Pages legal signatures yellow highlighted. Initial here. Base sign, pen grasped heavy gold. Initialed 3 cautious. Full Harold Bennett signed acceptance. Firm unhesitating. Robert countersigned agent documents case. Agent submit today. Closing September 1st. Clasps. Exterior June radiance device buzzed. Patricia text. July 15th. 3 weeks prepared. Typed singular.
Yes.
Dawn July 15th prior. Dark suit Margaret funeral triennial prior attired. Tie mirror straightened. Visage older harder. Pendant shirt touched. Warm fabric through. Today Patricia Courthouse hallway 9 and 30 met. Attire sharp. Accordion thicker evidence. Need all. Said. Videos. Fiscal medical. Neighbors statements. Victoria Carlson Nathan Sophia moments subsequent arrived. Hallway opposite seated. Unspeaking. Silence fitting. Content 30. Courtroom entered. Judge Ortiz bench papers brief upward. Ems Lawson proceed. Podium Rebecca. Screen video. Nathan shove clip played. Judge forward leaned intent. Recorded May 21st emergency prior filing. Fiscal ledger switched. Loans documented 22th 100 triennial. Repaid nil. Medical next. Pressure 15 ATAR 98. Stress symptoms. Physician hostile environment reports. Narrative undeniable constructed. Carlson Rebecca concluded Rose humanize Victoria attempted. Honor, client childhood home. Understanding, judge interrupted. Written agreement understanding. Nil verbal property occupation formalize need. Mr. Bennett rental attempted. Client refused. Sit gestured. Sufficient. Courtroom stilled. Evidence reviewed. Exploitation fiscal lucid documented. Videos intimidation harassment pattern. Directly Ms. Ellis. Terms rental equitable granted. Refused. Vacate voluntary opportunities multiple. Refused. Victoria table edge gripped. Eviction grant. 30 August 14th. Absent. Sheriff execute. Victoria wept commenced. Nathan forward stared stunned. Sophia device reached bailiff throat cleared meaningful. Hallway exterior Victoria approached blotchy. Mascara streaked. Father, please halt. Alter. Rent remit. Tardy. Depart where? Issue my nil. Cold how. Family. Regarded Margaret features visage warmth nil. Triennial post mother demise family act. Parasites selected. Recoiled slap as. Patricia arm touched. Herald. Depart. Sale timeline own advanced. Mid-July Inspector Emily David traversed. Victoria boxes corners stacked. Departure reality. Inspector panels electric plumbing foundation. Heater aged. Roof 5 remaining. Major nil. Emily quiet. Long resided. 40 years. Patio majority self-constructed. David smiled. Dwelling sound. Deserves appreciative family. Emily unspoken comprehended. Care well. Request soul. July 30th, deadline eve, rental truck driveway. Chamber remained. Portal sealed. Departure sounds hearkened. Furniture floors scraped. Boxes thumped. Victoria orders sharp. Sophia lift heavy complained. Neighbors' yards observed household exit. Portal knock. Opened. Victoria exhausted defeated sweat dust stood. Content now. Desired obtained. Desired nil. Compelled? Forgive never. Forgiveness unnecessary. Margaret approval suffices. Countenance hardened. Satisfied hope. Liberated. Pivoted. Minutes engine roared. Window observed truck driveway exited. Daughter perhaps final. Dwelling immediate altered, lighter, air freer. Empty chambers traversed evening light windows slanted. Footsteps echoed each. Den, hardwood deep gauges sofa dragged. Master, wall fist aperture, Nathan Iyer mark. Galley counter stained. Cabinet askew. Phone photographed, narrated quiet. July 30th, 60:30. Condition post, occupant. Damages pursue nil planned. Victory achieved documentation necessary. Proof essence. Living center stood. Phone destruction trail displayed. Walls gouged. Floors stained. Fixtures shattered. Anger absent images. Validated. Margaret correct all. Letter moment prepared. Faces familiar love void. Window front sale sign yard sold Crimson Rider Apex. 4 weeks closing, 4 depart dwelling eternal. Pendant touched final, chamber packing commenced own. Hush extraordinary. Triennial chaos voices demands hostility post, silence bounty. Liberated. Trike daily household departed. Laptop empty dwelling Scottsdale listings perused. Hush echoed, footsteps, breaths, keys, clicks, absence amplified. Boxes packed, walls aligned, lifetime cardboard compressed. Parameters specific. 2. Chamber condominium secure vicinity sub 220,000. Commence 68. Term zone. Initial viewed erroneous, modern excess crystal alloy warmth nil. Second ground, uneasy post vulnerability own domicile. Realtor second floor apartment quiet Scottsdale complex showed. 55 FUF community. Tranquil, secure, balcony stepped. Ridge vistas, breeze afternoon. Residents age dogs walk below. Complex gate security lenses, communal chamber probable unused. Offer today. Surprised appeared? Certainly, considering full ask cash contingencies nil. Early August purchase concluded, $185,000. Margaret concealed funds house proceeds portion. Mortgage nil. Freedom extraordinary. Weak second chamber workshop transformed. Tools power unpacked factory plastic. Equipment prior sold Victoria needs time space consumed. Bench installed, pegboard tools, bins storage methodical. Saw table tested satisfying familiar. Maple lumber initial, shadow pendant box pieces cut. Sawdust air. Years initial creating chaos managing. August 1st closing. Title company Emily David met. Office bland walls top, documents stack. Table opposite seated, officer each explained. Page signed, signature decades contracts automatic. Emily packet slid. Letter later scripted. Accepted jacket tucked. David check proceeds remaining. Officer keys chens passed. Emily gaze bright. Trust home. Thank. Yours render. Needs. Exited photos box Margaret pendant soul carried. Backward glanced nil. Apartment direct motored. Belongings minimal unpacked. Evening couch novel quiet space mind sat. Emily packet opened, letter perused. Sacrifice comprehend. Love laughter fill. House exceed. Future granted. Folded cautious, desk drawer Margaret letter adjacent. Hope dual messages sources. Meanwhile, institution novel account open. Transferred 245 Zallows post purchases expenses, payments automatic utilities Hoay, precision engineering projects once. Years accounts reviewed anxiety nil. Victoria taken wondered Nathan borrowed nil. Calls attempted. Name screen observed, voicemail permitted, unheard. Additional. Settings block scrolled. Confirm text alternate Nathan. Oh, family. Block. Sophia grandpa respond. Block. Number altered next. Patricia doctor complex security soul provided. Late August. Apartment portal knock. Peaceful Victoria exhausted desperate stood. Father no interior. Converse need. Errors committed. Family. Backward silent stepped. Armchair sat. Voice muffled portal continued. Struggling. Afford nil. Please father. Knocking additional. Hall portal opened. Mail timber. Depart nil security summon. Father mine. Unanswering. Depart. Footsteps receded. Silence final. Guilt nil. Liberated. Evening, workshop oak box dovetail joints precision patience worked. Pendant shadow constructed. Box purpose nascent. Dentist gift perhaps. Treasure zone retain perhaps. Irrelevant. Crafting hands own, time own, reasons own. Glue final joint applied, pieces fitted cautious. Smooth grain palm ran. Satisfaction profound. Journey pondered working. Margaret letter pendant concealed. Savings discovery. Battle legal. Rebecca expertise. Sale dwelling. Commencement novel. Victorious nil felt. Balanced. Tools cleaned methodical. Sawdust swept. Box completed light examined. Joints flawless. Bench set satisfied labor. Shop light extinguished. Living entered. Margaret pendant evening window light glowed softly. Silver final sun rays caught. Reflections tiny wall. Stars. Promises honored. Window approached. Scottsdale Ridge's orange sky darkened observed. Morrow August 30th. Triennial Margaret demise exact. Anniversary plans. Benevolent. Tranquil. Dual prior Margaret anniversary. Rebecca office final sat. Document desk slid. Will novel finalized. Official. Charities try-in specified. Daughter explicit excluded explanation lifetime fair share received actions relationship value exceed assets demonstrated. Relevant allowed quiet perused. Daughter Victoria Ellis Bennett. Nil leave lifetime substantial support received actions assets relationship value demonstrated. Initialed pages signed trite copies. Rebecca paralegal witnessed notary applied. Safeguarded. Rebecca stated another medical Dr. Lena Vargas geriatric. Victoria guardianship filed incompetence claimed affairs manage. Surprised nil. Evaluation comprehensive arranged. Results cognitive acute, physical sound, competent full. Petition dismissed immediate. Vindicated shocked nil. Known sound always. Victoria fractured. Rebecca letter additional. Carlson yesterday. Mediation family repair requested. Perused once. Desperation transparent. Victoria funds needed. Reconciliation inheritance hoped. Nil. Simple. Closed. Gratitude, Rebecca. All. Smiled. Pleasure mine, Harold. Justice merit. August 30th arrived. Triennial Margaret demise exact. Dawn prior apartment novel awakened. Coffee galley small brewed. Ritual familiar correct felt. Pendant shadow cautious removed. Palm held. Alloy cool oval perfect. Unlocked. Space missive prior vacant. Terms recalled each. Armchair sat. Pendant palm. Letter desk other. Reread. Strength exist executed Margaret. Chamber quiet whispered. Liberated. Tears arrived sadness nil. Release. Saved beyond. Permission self-obligation choose. Correct all. Gratitude abandon nil me. Pendant honor wall returned. Morning light caught. Afternoon. Edward Hayes Starbucks Scottsdale met. Engineering days companion ancient. Contact lost Victoria household life consumed. Initial. Silver tresses. Smile warm. Clasps hug brief transformed. Caldier's several. Edward coffee sat. Voicemail always. Occupied. Daughter household post Margaret demise. Comprehension expression dawned. Occupied sort. Dialogue due hours Margaret. Projects engineering decades. Edward grandchildren. Finally, solitary now choice. Edward grinned. Well Harold. Prayer living nil. Now exists. Chess Thursday subsequent. Defeat prepare. Engaged. Social initial years self. Evening. Workshop oak box dovetail precision patience worked. Pendant shadow constructed. Box purpose nil yet. Dentist gift perhaps. Treasures small own perhaps. Irrelevant. Crafting hands time reasons own. Glue final applied. Pieces fitted. Grains smooth ran. Satisfaction profound journey pondered. Margaret letter concealed savings, legal, Rebecca, sale, commencement. Victorious nil, balanced. Tools cleaned, sawdust swept, box light examined. Joints perfect. Bench set, labor satisfied. Light extinguished, living entered. Margaret pendant window evening glowed. Silver sun final caught. Reflections wall tiny stars promises. Window approached ridges darkened orange. Phone counter silent. Number contacts control mine. Morrow Edward chess. Week subsequent project workshop conclude. Month subsequent unknown. Future unwritten. Years initial freedom fear nil. Shirt touched pendant prior chest rested. Wall now. Visible honored. Armor nil. Armor unnecessary. Smiled genuine peaceful. Kitchen turned dinner self soul. Sufficient exact. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. 3.4 So fast continue lingered in the quiet of my new apartment that evening. The oak box still cooling on the workbench, its dovetail joints as tight as the resolve that had carried me here. The pendant on the wall caught the last sliver of sunset, throwing a soft silver arc across the room like a quiet benediction. My phone, new number, new life, lay silent on the counter. No alerts, no demands, no voices from the past clawing for attention. Just the low hum of the refrigerator and the distant bark of a neighbor's dog. I poured myself a glass of water, not tea this time. Tea had been Margaret's ritual, and tonight I wanted something that was mine alone. The cool liquid slid down my throat, grounding me. I walked to the balcony, slid the glass door open, and stepped into the warm Scottsdale night. The mountains were black silhouettes now, the sky a deep indigo pricked with the first stars. A breeze carried the faint scent of creosote from the desert beyond the complex gate. I leaned against the railing, letting the stillness settle into my bones. 3 years ago, on this exact date, I'd sat in a hospital room, holding Margaret's hand as the monitors slowed. Her grip had been feather light by then, but her eyes, those clear hazel eyes, had locked onto mine with a fierce urgency. "Harold," she'd whispered, her voice raspy from the oxygen mask. "Promise me you'll live. Not just exist, live." I'd nodded, tears blurring my vision, thinking I understood. But I hadn't. Not then. I'd spent the years after her death surviving, not living. Trapped in a house that had become a battlefield, surrounded by people who wore the faces of family but carried the hearts of strangers. Tonight, though, I understood. I went back inside, closed the door, and sat at my small dining table with a yellow legal pad, the same kind I'd used to document every betrayal, every dollar, every shove. But this time, I wasn't building a case. I was building a future. At the top of the page, I wrote August 31st Life, Phase 2. Below it, I started a new list, not of evidence, but of intentions. Chess with Edward, Thursdays, 2:500 p.m. I'd already texted him to confirm. He'd replied with a thumbs up emoji and a challenge, "Bring your A game, old man." I smiled at the memory. Edward had been my sounding board in the engineering days, the one who'd drag me out of the office for burgers when deadlines loomed. I'd let that friendship fade under the weight of Victoria's chaos. No more. Workshop project birdhouse for the community garden. The complex had a small plot near the pool, where residents grew tomatoes and herbs. I'd noticed a lack of birdhouses during my walks. I'd start with cedar, maybe add a copper roof for flair. Something to leave behind, a quiet mark of my presence. Volunteer at the Senior Advocacy Center. One afternoon a week, Rebecca had mentioned they needed help with intake for elders facing similar battles. I knew the system now, intimately. I could guide others through the paperwork, the fear, the moment when they realized they weren't alone. Travel, somewhere I've never been. Margaret and I had always talked about seeing the redwoods in California, but life, work, Victoria's weddings, Nathan's emergencies, had kept us tethered to Tucson. I opened my laptop, pulled up a map. Flagstaff was only 2 hours north. Pine trees, cool air, a cabin for a long weekend. I bookmarked a rental, my finger hesitating over the reserve button before clicking. October 12th, 15th. Done. I paused, pen hovering, and added one more, write Margaret a letter. Every year on her birthday. Not the kind of letter she'd left me, hidden and urgent. This would be open, celebratory. I'd tell her about the birdhouse, the chess games, the way the mountains looked at dusk. I'd tell her I was finally living, the way she'd asked. The list filled half the page. Each item a small rebellion against the man I'd been. The one who'd let guilt and obligation chain him to a life that wasn't his. I set the pad aside and walked to the workshop. The oak box gleamed under the LED light, its lid still unset. I opened a drawer, pulled out a small brass hinge, and fitted it carefully. The lid closed with a satisfying click. I'd sand it tomorrow, stain it walnut, maybe engrave something simple on the top for keeping promises. My phone buzzed. Edward. Forgot to ask. Do you still take your coffee black, or has age softened you? I chuckled, typed back black as my soul after I crush you at chess. His reply was instant. We'll see, Bennett. I set the phone down and opened the shadow box on the wall. Margaret's pendant rested inside, the silver chain coiled like a sleeping snake. I lifted it out, the metal warm from the day's light. For the first time in years, I fastened it around my neck. Not as armor, not as a reminder of loss, but as a talisman of what we'd built, and what I was still building. The next morning, I woke to sunlight streaming through the blinds, painting stripes across the hardwood floor. I brewed coffee black and took it to the balcony. The complex was stirring, Mrs. Alvarez walking her terrier, Mr. Kim watering his Peychaud roses. I raised my mug in greeting, and they waved back. No suspicion, no gossip, just neighbors. At 9:00 a.m., I drove to the hardware store for cedar and copper sheeting. The clerk, a kid with a name tag, reading, Jaden, helped me load the wood into my truck. "Building something cool?" he asked. "Birdhouse," I said. "For the community garden." He grinned. "Nice. My grandpa used to make those. Said it kept him out of trouble." I laughed. "Same here." Back home, I set up the cedar on the workbench, the scent of fresh wood filling the room. I measured, marked, cut. The Sawswine was a song I hadn't heard in years. As I worked, I thought about the house on Speedway. The one I'd sold to Emily and David. I wondered if they'd painted the kitchen yet, if they'd fixed the crooked cabinet door. I hoped they were filling it with noise, the good kind, kids laughing, music playing, doors slamming in the way only a lived-in home allows. By noon, the birdhouse frame was taking shape. I paused to check my phone, a voicemail from an unknown number. I hesitated, then played it. Victoria's voice, thin and strained. "Dad, it's me. We're in a bad spot. The apartment fell through, and Nathan lost another job. Sophia's talking about dropping out of school. Please, just call me back. We're family." I deleted it without hesitation. Blocked the number. The guilt I'd expected didn't come. Instead, there was only clarity, sharp as the chisel in my hand. Margaret had warned me. I'd listened. That was enough. That afternoon, I carried the half-finished birdhouse to the community garden. Mrs. Alvarez was there, kneeling by a tomato plant. "Harold?" she called. "What's that?" "Birdhouse," I said, holding it up. "Thought the Finches could use a home." She beamed. "Put it by the sage. They love that spot." I spent an hour installing it, leveling the post, securing the base. When I stepped back, it looked right. Simple, sturdy, inviting. A young couple walked by, pushing a stroller. The woman paused. "That's beautiful," she said. "Did you make it?" "I did," I said. First of many. Thursday came, and I met Edward at the coffee shop near his condo. He had the chessboard set up already, a travel mug of black coffee waiting for me. "Ready to lose?" he asked. "We'll see," I said, sliding into the seat. We played 3 games. He won the first, I took the second, and the third ended in a draw after an hour of brutal strategy. "You haven't lost your edge," Edward said, resetting the board. "Had to keep sharp," I said. "Surviving family teaches you a few things." He raised an eyebrow but didn't pry. Instead, he pulled out a thermos. Brought sandwiches. Ham and Swiss like the old days. We ate, talked about everything and nothing. His granddaughter's science fair project, my birdhouse, the time we'd both stayed up 36 hours straight to fix a design flaw on a bridge project in '92. When we parted, he clapped me on the shoulder. "Next week, same time, and bring that birdhouse plan. I want in." October 12th arrived crisp and cool. I loaded a duffel into my truck and drove north to Flagstaff. The cabin was small, cedar-sided, with a porch overlooking a meadow. I spent the weekend hiking, breathing air that smelled of pine and earth. On Saturday night, I sat by a fire pit, the pendant warm against my chest, and wrote Margaret's letter on the legal pad I'd brought. "Dear Margaret, I'm in Flagstaff. The trees are taller than I imagined, and the air is so clean it almost hurts to breathe. I built a birdhouse for the complex garden. Cedar, copper roof. The neighbors love it. Edward and I play chess every Thursday. He cheats, but I let him think he's winning. I sold the house. Emily and David are good people. They'll fill it with the kind of life we always wanted for it. Victoria called. I didn't answer. You were right about everything. I'm living now, not just existing. Thank you for the pendant, the letter, the savings, the strength. I wear you with me every day, but I don't need you to fight for me anymore. I've got this. Forever yours, Harold. I folded the letter, slipped it into an envelope, and tucked it into the oak box when I got home. The box now held 3 things. Margaret's letter to me, my letter to her, and a small brass key. The one to the deposit box, now empty but kept as a reminder. November brought the first cool snap. I finished the second birdhouse. This one for Edward's granddaughter. I engraved her name, Clara, on the base. When I delivered it, she hugged my legs, her pigtails bouncing. Thank you, Mr. Harold. Edward's eyes were suspiciously shiny. December, I volunteered at the Senior Advocacy Center. My first client was a woman named Dolores, 72, whose son had been draining her savings for business ventures. I walked her through the same steps Rebecca had guided me through. Documenting, securing accounts, filing for a restraining order. When the judge granted her eviction, she cried in the hallway, clutching my hand. I thought I'd lost everything, she said. You didn't, I told her. You're just getting started. That night, I hung a new shadow box on the wall, this one for the brass key. Beneath it I placed a small plaque for Dolores and all the others. January. I took a woodworking class at the community college. The instructor, a retired carpenter named Lewis, taught me how to carve. My first project was a small owl, its eyes wide and watchful. I gave it to Mrs. Alvarez for her patio. She set it by her roses and called it her guardian. February. I drove to Tosin for the first time since the sale. I didn't go to the old house. Instead, I visited Margaret's grave. The headstone was clean, the grass trimmed. I placed a single redwood cone from Flagstaff at its base. I saw the trees? I said. You were right. They're magnificent. Spring came early. The complex garden bloomed with tomatoes, basil, and marigolds. My birdhouses, 5 now, were occupied by finches, sparrows, even a pair of doves. I added a bench beneath the sage, carved from mesquite. Edward and I played chess there sometimes, the board balanced on our knees. One evening as the sun set behind the mountains, I sat on my balcony with a glass of water, the pendant around my neck, the oak box on the table beside me. My phone buzzed. An email from Emily Chen. Photos attached. The house repainted a soft sage green. The kitchen bright with new cabinets. A toddler's tricycle in the hallway. A note. We love it here, Harold. Thank you for giving us a home. I smiled, closed the email, and opened the oak box. I added a new letter, to myself this time. Harold, you did it. You lived. Keep going. I sealed it, placed it beside Margaret's, and closed the lid. The pendant caught the last light of day, glowing like a promise kept. Tomorrow I'd start a new project. A rocking chair for the community room. Edward had volunteered to help. Life, Phase 2, was just getting started.